welcome to my studio. In today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to pull a large handle for your coiled vessel. The important thing is to start with a wedged cylinder shape. I've already got mine ready to go. What you're going to do is hold on to one end, and with your working hand, your sculpting hand, you're going to get your wedged clay into a dagger-like shape. So as I hit the clay, I'm conscious of moving it away from my body. I'm also conscious of getting it into a shape that is wider at one end and tapers towards this end like a dagger. I'm using a non-stick surface, such as canvas. You can also use something like hardy board, which is a cement board. So I have a shape that is like a dagger. It is wider at this end and tapers here. It is wider at this end and tapers here. The important thing when pulling a handle is to make sure that whatever you're pulling is wet so your hand can slide off. Most students think that the motion or the way you hold your hand is like a circle. It's not. We're not pulling a coil. You can roll a coil. I have this block here to show you that your hand is shaped like this. So it's more angular. And so when I hold my hand, I think about the fact that I want this dagger or this handle to have a little bit of a squared look. So I get my hand wet, I hold it in that shape, and I pull on one side, this side, and rotate. And I continue to do so, consciously pulling a little bit harder down here to keep that taper this way and this way. And because that dagger was already in the general shape of the handle, I just did not have to pull that much. So if you get to a point where you have kinked, let's say you kink the handle down here, you need to go ahead and pull that off. It's non-functional. Once you think you have your handle in the right shape, you're going to use a cat eye. And what that does is it bevels the sides. Now you'll be able to sculpt this further once it sets up. So that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to cut at an angle with a knife. You can use a butter knife, you can use a fettling knife, you can use a wire tool. And about where I want this to go, I'm going to cut at an angle away from my body. Then that is a pretty thick foot for a very large coiled pot. I may have to thin it out with a design just to keep it from going too thick. I'm gonna let this set up a while, and if I wanted it to go faster, I could use a hair dryer to dry it out sooner. Over here, I have some handles that are smaller that are already, they've set up and I've put them into shape. You can make sure that you have a nice strong foot. This is a much smaller handle, but you can see that it will hold its shape. It's leather hard, ready to attach to the coiled vessel. You can also do a little decorating with the end of your handle. Just make sure that you create a smooth transition to the pot. And that is how you pull a large handle.